Hi, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast for today. My name is Natalie Ledwell, and I do these broadcasts a couple of times a week. I'm actually I'm founder of the personal development company called My Movies. I'm also best-selling author of the book Never in Your Wildest Dreams. I do these broadcasts a couple of times a week just to bring you some great information, some tips and some tools to, hopefully help you through a current situation that you're experiencing, or give you some information to take your life to the next level. If you are here, please make sure that you say hi so I can say hello back. Let me know where you're from, so I can give you a little cheerio. And I can see that Bill Harmon is already here. Good to see you here, Bill. You're here nice and early, which is fantastic. Janelle Conkin. Hi, Janelle. Good to see you here too. I'm broadcasting a little late today. I have had a very crazy day. I'm actually preparing to go to Africa. I leave for Africa in about a week and a half. And there's a lot to be prepared. I have to get certain shots and organize my visa and health insurance and a whole bunch of other things. So I was a little late, a little tardy starting today. Normally we're at 2:30. So hopefully still all of our Australian and overseas friends can join us. Christina Hagen. Hi, Christina. How are you? Good to see you here. Joy Cash from Kentucky. Good to see you here, Joy, again. Rajanesh, good to see you here as well. Jill Eckhart from Maine. Hi, Jill. Good to see you. Bill Hummer, get those shots. Yes, I know. Well, luckily, I went to Kenya 6 years ago, and apparently the shots last for like 10 years or something. So yellow fever, I'm good with. I think the only thing I need is typhoid. And I had to get a whole bunch of shots when I got my green card. So I'm pretty much up to date with all of that, which is good. So I don't forget too much happening. Too much of an vaccination, which is great. Good to see you here, Lynette Butt, yay, and Brooke Loxon from California. Hi. So today my broadcast is all about the 7 signs that are easy to miss, 7 easy to miss signs that you're doing better than you think. That was easy to miss. And doing better than I think. Okay, so 7 easy to miss signs to show you that you are actually doing better than you think. I know that sometimes when we're in places of overwhelm and when we're feeling stressed, not that I know anything about that. Actually, that seems to be my operas, how I operate these days is crazy. And when you get so caught up in those moments and you seem to be just go all the time, you kind of forget, you're kind of looking at what's causing the overwhelm, what's causing the stress. You're focusing more on that, and you're kind of forgetting, wait a minute, I'm actually doing better than I think. And of course, when we're in those lower vibrations of overwhelm and upset, then, we only attract more of the same. We need to get into those higher level vibrational emotions so that we can start to see better solutions, so that we can make better choices and make better decisions. So, when you find that you're in a place where you're feeling frustrated, you're thinking that you should be further along than you are, you may be asking yourself, well, should I be further along than I am? I turn 50 next year, and the 0 birthdays are always the time where you kind of assess your life and go, have I done everything I wanted to? Is this where I want to be? Am I successful as I should be by this point? But you might not even wait for one of those birthdays. You might do that at any time. So what today's broadcast is really going to be about is, showing you how you really are on track. Believe me, if you're watching this broadcast, and I can see so many friends here that come to watch these broadcasts on a regular basis, if you're watching broadcasts like these and you're, setting goals and you're doing things, you are actually, much further along than you think. So let's go through a few of the signs that prove that you are actually doing better than you may think you actually are at this point in time. So the first one is that sign number 1 is that you don't let your ego stand in the way of your happiness. So what do I mean by this? I love this one because I really got the lesson of this when Glenn and I split up and when we separated. And I really found like that I had isolated myself. and I, was unhappy, and I didn't want anyone to see behind the facade that I had put up that I was really unhappy. I wanted everyone to think that everything was okay. And I think a lot of us do that. But what I did is when we split up, I became very honest about how I knew that I couldn't navigate through the next, months and years on my own. And I made a commitment to really reaching out to a number of female friends, and being really honest with them and being open with them and asking for their support and asking for their help. And it has made the world of difference. This group of women who are growing all the time, the most amazing, supportive, loving, helpful, incredible, amazing human beings. And I'm so blessed and grateful to have them in my life. So, don't let your ego, when you're not letting your ego stand in your way and you're asking for help, remember we're all connected. And anything amazingly great that I've achieved in my life, I've never done on my own. I've always looked for who can help. I don't profess to think that I know everything and can do everything myself. It's like even with My Movies, we have an incredible My Movies team, and we wouldn't be able to do any of it if it wasn't for the team and the role that everyone plays, and they play at their best. So if you're the type of person that asks for help and for support, then you're much further along than most people, because a lot of people still feel like that they're an island and try and do everything themselves. Sign number 2 is that you find pleasure in the little things in life. I was just coming back from an appointment, and I was driving in the car, and the sun's kind of out today, so I had the roof down, and I actually found myself, with tears in my eyes going, wow, I get to live in this city. This is my life. I'm driving this car. The sun is out. I had Bella with me. I'm just like, in this moment, I'm so eternally grateful, and I feel so blessed. So when you can find yourself having moments like that throughout the day, you could just, be walking on the beach. You could be eating an ice cream. You could be having a cup of tea, whatever that is. If you can drop into that moment and really feel grateful and blessed, and find pleasure in those little things. This is what we talk about when we're looking to consistently maintain a higher frequency or a higher vibration, because you're feeling these, higher vibrational emotions. Now, when you're in that higher frequency, you are the same frequency as abundance. And so the more you can find pleasure in those little things, and if you're the type of person who does that, and I know there's many of you who are watching this broadcast who are, then you are much further along in life than you think you really are, okay? You're doing much better than you think. All right, let's say a few more hellos. Wow, I've got some people here. Pamela Gonzalez. Hi, Pamela. You've been through a divorce too? Yeah, you know what? It takes a little bit to get through that. Broken heart is always, not a great thing. But I know that when you sort of looking at having the right people around you and asking for support, it's always great. Cindy Key, good to see you, Cindy. Katrin from Estonia, good to see you back here again, Katrin. Eve Kibblewhite, love my work from Adelaide. Hi, Eve from Adelaide, yay. Joy is saying that's such good guidance. Thank you, we need each other, like totally. No one's an island. Hi, Cheryl Blood. Good to see you here. Rosalind I'm not going to say that. Good to see you here. And treasure the little things. Very important. Okay. Sign number 3 that you're doing better than you think is that you've learned from disappointment. This is what's really surprising to me is that as human beings, we tend to do a lot to avoid disappointment. And I used to be one of these people, anything to avoid disappointment. And I'm thinking, why is that? Like, it's just disappointment. It's not like it's failure. It's not like, it's just, not having something not turn out the way that you want. And so when you can learn from disappointment, and I know, like I said, a lot of you, I know that you do that, you learn that the disappointments actually just make you stronger. They actually make you wiser. They actually make you more equipped to be able to face the other things that you have coming in life, And for some of you, I know that, I think I've mentioned this on a live broadcast before. My boyfriend and I broke up nearly a couple of months ago now, and very disappointing. Not what I wanted, not how I expected things to turn out. But of course, through that disappointment and through that upset, I've been able to look at, okay, well, what did I learn from this? How do I grow from this? It really helped me look at some of the wounds and some of the programming that I had, and was able to release it because it was the event that brought it to the surface for me. So if you're learning from your disappointments, and it may not be in the disappointment, it may be a little while afterwards, then you are way further ahead in life than you actually think. Okay, that's step number sign number 4. Sign number 3. Number 4 is that you have people in your life that you love and trust. That is huge. If you have one person that you love and trust, you're ahead of the game, because there are so many people that don't. But if you have a group of people, and I mentioned before how my husband and I separated. We split up like 5 years ago, but we're still business partners. He's still, such a big influence in my life. I'm so grateful that he's there. We run our business together. He does an amazing job, and he's like my rock. He's awesome. And so happy that, our relationship has been able to transition from marriage into something different. It's not over, it's just different. And so when you can have those people, really, obviously be grateful for them. But if you have people in your life like that, it makes a massive difference. Okay. So sign number 5 is that you know what's right for you. So people who know what's right for them are very clear about what their core values are. You know what's important to you. You know what you stand for. You know what you won't stand for. And what you have a clear vision of what's right and wrong. So when you know what's right for you, and this is a little bit step further from right and wrong. It's like it might not be right for everybody, but you know what's right for you because you're clear about where it is that you're heading up. Like when you're making a mind movie, you're creating a vision board and you're looking at what you want to create for your future, you always paint a picture of what that is at the end. So when you are very clear about what that is, every time a decision comes up or an opportunity or something happens, you can always go, okay, well, is that going to get me to that picture? So you're very clear about what it is that's going to be right for you to be able to get you to that point. So it's easier for you to make these decisions along the way. Okay. All right. Let me say a few more hellos before I get to the last 2 signs. Jody Highs. Hey, how are you, Jody? Been watching me for years. I love you too. Rosalind is saying it's character building. I tell you what, yeah, disappointment, heartbreak, all those kind of things, very much character building. It sucks while you're going through it. Very good at the other end. Otilia. Hello, Otilia. She's saying, Natalie, long time I haven't seen you. I'd love to see you again. Great. Looking great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see. Pamela Gonzalez is saying sometimes it's hard to figure out what you have learned. You know what? And so, yes, sometimes it is difficult to figure out, but it's always in retrospect. I always, go, okay, well, especially when I was going through like my heartbreak, I was like, okay, well, what's this bringing up for me? What am I feeling? What are the limiting beliefs that are coming up? What are my thoughts here and what are they connected to? So it's a really good time, obviously when the emotion of it has calmed down, to be able to step back from it as the observer and go, well, what has this taught me? Because I believe that everything happens for a reason. I do believe that relationship happened for a reason. And for both of us, there are things we've taken away from the experience, and he's an amazing person. I'm an amazing person. Just didn't work out between the two of us. And that's sometimes the way it goes. Bill, so I'm single. Yes, Bill, I'm single. Just in case you were wondering. All right, so let's see. Sign number 6, that you're doing better than you think, is that you're always looking to be a better version of yourself. If you're listening to these broadcasts, if you're making mind movies, if you're setting goals, if you're reading books that really help to expand your world vision, the vision you have for yourself, understand how the world works, you are always striving to be a better version of yourself. Now, I know that I'm preaching to the choir here because I know that you guys absolutely do that, but, many people don't. And so I think it's fantastic that you do that. And by doing that, you become this incredible example for people around you, not just your family, but your community. You're resonating a different frequency, and that frequency does positively affect the people around you as well. Okay. So sign number 7, that you are doing better than you think, is that you are in complete freedom to do whatever you want. You have time and money freedom to do what it is that you want. Now, you may not have as much time or as much money, but you do have some time and some money to be able to make some choices for you that many people can't make. You have that freedom of choice. And it's not just with time and money, but with your thoughts, with your emotions. You have the ability to take that breath and stop in the moment and then choose how you're going to move forward, what you're going to say, how you're going to respond. When you have that freedom to do that, you are so far ahead of the game, it's not funny. So, that was number 7, on how to know that you are much more far in front of the game than you think. Okay, so let me look a couple of things. Cindy's saying, disappointment for me is very hard and I need to do better. There's not many people that I trust in my life, and I know what's important and my values, but I do not like lowering my values for anyone else. All these are very hard for me. Yeah, so here's the interesting thing, Cindy, that I have to say about that. When I was younger, I've always been very strong and adamant about who I am and what I stand for. And so when I had friends around me, I always held them to a very high standard. That made it difficult to be friends with me because in the end, I realized that people were always going to disappoint me if that's how I was going to hold them in esteem. So I had to make the switch, and I had to switch to go, you know what? People are who they are. They are operating, they're doing the best that they can, and they're operating from their own programs, their own paradigms, their own behavior patterns. And so, even though I have a high standard for myself, I would love people for who they were. Now, in saying that, there would be some personality traits that would show up in certain friends and certain people that I knew that I would go, okay, I'm glad I know this about you, so I won't put myself in front of that and be disappointed when, I knew that you had this behavior anyway. And so my friendship, or the way that I was with them, would change so that I could still be friends, just, maybe not trust them with money or in a business or, whatever else that was. So I think loving people for who they are and really focusing on what makes them unique and beautiful. Being aware of any other personality traits that could, come up and be a challenge in the future, and then just loving them from that. Not everyone is perfect. Actually, no one is perfect, including ourselves. So we have to learn to be with each other and work with each other. And I think that was the switch that I had to make, and it actually helped me avoid the whole disappointment thing because I didn't hold everyone to such a high standard. So that really helped. Let's see, we've got Daniel Freeman. Hi, Kathy Cook. Good to see you here as well. Let's see. Janelle Conkin saying, I need these signs. Thank you. Excellent. Okay. And Lynette Butts, I hold myself to a high standard to the point that I think it needs to be perfect, and that's caused my trouble. Yeah, see, and that's the other thing. Like I used to set such a high benchmark for myself. And when I would fall under it, I would internally beat myself up so badly. And all that does is keep us in a lower vibration in this vicious cycle. And again, we have to go, look, I have the freedom to choose different things, and I know I'm not always going to choose right. I know I'm going to make mistakes, but I know that that's part of my journey. And as long as I'm learning from them and moving forward, then it's all good and all meant to have happened anyway. Okay, so what you may not realize is that the 7 signs that I've actually shared with you right now are actually a part of the process of applying the law of attraction. So a lot of us do this subconsciously and we don't really aware of it, but this is part of the process of applying the law of attraction. So I've actually created a little program called Law of Attraction 101. And for me, this is the blueprint. I've been able to, one of my gifts is that I can look at something like the law of attraction or how to create success, and then be able to break it down into bite-sized, doable steps, like a blueprint or a system, that if you stick to the system and apply the system consistently every time, the law of attraction will always be working in your favor. So I know that my team is going to be putting a little link here somewhere so that you can click on, the link there, go through, find out about the Law of Attraction 101 program. And we also will have, that's it, Law of Attraction 101 program. So click on that link when you get a moment, especially if you're looking at applying the law of attraction consistently in your favor every time. So, guys, thank you for joining me today on the broadcast. I hope that these signs have really helped you to feel good about yourself and to know that you are actually doing really well. I'll be back on Friday, and I'm not going to tell you the time because hopefully it's going to be 2:30, but who knows what's going to happen. But I will definitely be broadcasting again on Friday afternoon. So look after yourselves till then. Have a fantastic afternoon. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.